Stuff. It's Jay Abbondanza.
What's up, Emporium? How you guys doing? Awesome. So, is anyone like me? Is anyone not quite happy with the adult they turned out to be? Yeah, it's not really working out how I'd hoped. Like, my biggest dream right now is to get paid when I'm not there at work. Like, I've never quite hit that plateau yet, but I'm excited for when it really happens. Let me ask you, here's a good example of how I'm disappointed in myself. How are y'all with blind people? I am not good with blind people at all. Every time I talk to a blind person, it's like I'm talking to a Spanish person in Spanish. Like I have to remember the word for hello. Like it's a weird situation. Like, do you shake their hand? Like if they put their hand out, you better shake that shit. It's gonna get awkward. But do you grab their hand? I don't know. Or then like when they come through with that cane, what's the etiquette? Do you stick your foot out so they know you're there? You stick your foot away, then maybe they miss you, then they bump into you, and they're like, what the hell, I'm searching for feet with this thing, I'm in the dark. Or like, have you guys ever done this? Have you ever seen a blind person give a really good tip? That's awkward as hell, man. Like, are they generous? Or do they just not know? Should I tell them? I think we all like to treat blind people as kind as possible. But just like anybody else, they can be jerks. They can step out of line, and when they do, you gotta check them. And in that case, if you ever have a situation where you need to punch a blind person, it's only fair to punch them while you're screaming. Just so they can find you, you know? You can't just hit them with a right cross and fade into the abyss. You can't do that. You gotta be like, ah! Just gonna be like, oh, 3 o'clock, there he is. The great thing about that situation is you're as horrified by what you're doing as you should be. Like you're making the appropriate noise for what's happening in this situation. So last week, it was 70 degrees in Wisconsin in December. And I got freaked out. Like, severely fucking freaked out, man. Like, stack that on top of Manhattan getting flooded. That shit, like, there's weird shit going on, man. It is scaring the hell out of me. Like, Manhattan got flooded. That's not supposed to happen. That reminded me of Katrina a little bit. Like, it wasn't like Katrina because it was New York and they have money and electoral votes, so people gave a shit. But it was a little like Katrina. Like, do you guys remember when Katrina happened? Sean Penn got himself a shotgun and a rowboat and went to go save people? Was that insane? I don't think he saved anybody. Because that's not the right context for Sean Penn. Like, you're not, like, on top of your roof and see, like, Sean Penn coming at you with a shotgun going, oh, Mystic River's here to help. No, you're like, hide! This motherfucker's into looting. And he's not even from New Orleans. It don't even make any sense. Like, could you imagine, like, if a New Yorker just got motivated during Sandy? Like, DMX is up in Yonkers watching news, like, I gotta go help the people. Like, DMX just gets himself a shotgun and a rowboat. Some rich Manhattanite, like, in his high-rise. He's all bummed out because he can't go to Starbucks that day. All of a sudden, you see X rowing towards him. Like, hey, yo, get in the boat! Like, Nah, X. I think I'm gonna get the next one. DMX, though, he's definitely one of my top 3 favorite felons of all time. He is fantastic. The craziest thing about DMX, like, he's a multiple felon, but he's never been arrested for anything he's rapping about. Which is crazy, because he raps about some foul shit. Like, he has a line that says, I got blood on my hands and there's no remorse. I got blood on my dick because I fucked a corpse. You feel like NYPD would just bring him in. Like, Gotta bring this guy in for questioning. We got a few unsolved corpse cases. Just be like, yo, X, you know this guy? No, dog, that's autistic license. Are you sure? We found a rowboat on the scene. No, I don't know. All right, as you were, Earl. Yeah. But yeah, the weather is freaking me out. It freaks me out because like I'm originally from Florida, and I'm worried that I'm gonna have to tell my kids what snow was. Like, oh yeah, it was this really cool shit. They used to have an Olympics around it. It was awesome. Oh, you want to go down to Daddy's hometown? Well, we can't because most of it's underwater, and the part that's not underwater is being controlled by packs of hordes that look like Fred Durst. And then the other third is just wild dogs. That's where Grandma went. She got attacked by wild dogs. Just due to economic lethargy in the environment, Florida is a memory. Florida scares the hell out of me. Like, that's like when I go back home, like, it's sad when you go home and your town has turned into a Bruce Springsteen song. Like, it's just like don't go to Walmart after dark scary. Like, there's just a bunch of people with lip rings just freaking me out while I'm like eyeing the cereal. I can't handle it at all. Like, this is a perfect example of how shitty my hometown is. We lost Target privileges. We had a Target at one point. We fucking lost it. It got replaced by a TJ Maxx and a Spencer's Gifts. That's how shitty. And they talk about the Florida educational system. That's not a joke. It sucks. We don't read. They try to make us read. They say, like, you should read this. And then we would all just, like, not read. And after 2 weeks of them assigning chapters, they just give up and show the movie. But unfortunately, the movie for Grapes of Wrath is also really boring. So I never found out why those grapes were so angry. I never figured that one out. So I went home recently. I'm not from Miami, but we went down to Miami and wanted to see a Heat game. And the weird thing was, like, I've been adjusted to Wisconsin lifestyle. Like, I'm used to, like, pleases and thank yous and smiles from strangers now, and they don't have that in Florida at all. And so, like, when I went to go to the Heat game, I was asking the concierge at the hotel, like, can we take the bus to the Heat game? Thinking that he's a person that could help me, not a jerk with my credit card number. He's like, yeah, you can take the bus right to the stadium. I'm like, right in front of the stadium? He's like, yeah, no problem. Liar. Fucking liar's what he was. Because that bus goes to a bus stop in downtown Miami. For those of you wondering, that's where Fear is made. That's where they make it. That's where it comes from. And the weird thing about it was, we could actually see the stadium from where we were. It was actually visible. But in between the bus stop and the stadium was a park, and it was nighttime. And parks are scary as hell at night. Like, they switch up. Like, in the daytime, a park is your friend. It's filled with, like, wonder and whimsy and white people jogging. It's great. But at night, it is no fun at all. Like even, like, the animals switch up. Like, the squirrels clock out, the rats clock in. Now, you don't want to see anyone at this point. Like, you can't handle questions. But then, like, my dad's from Brooklyn, and I'm like, I'm tough. I'm from Florida. I can handle this. I get like 5 steps into the park, and some guy's like, yo, let me ask you a question. I got so scared, I hailed a cab to a place I could see. I literally got in the cab. He's like, where you going? I'm like, there. I just need help. He's like, yeah, I figured. I've just been driving back and forth picking up scared people all night. It's cool when I go home, I get to see my little niece and nephew, and they're like toddler age. And toddlers are fun for a little bit. But then, like, inevitably you have to, like, sit down and play, like, Mr. Potato Head. Which sucks, because you can't play Mr. Potato Head from the couch. Like, you have to sit Indian style to play Mr. Potato Head. Like, has anyone sat Indian style as an adult? It hurts. It's like yoga, but instead of breathing and waiting for it to be over, you have to like come up with dialogue for Mrs. Potato Head. So my plan is always like, let me just see if I can irritate them so that they'll go away from me. So I just take like what I know of children and like try to add a little voice to it. And so it just comes out like, okay, this little piggy, he went to market. This little piggy, he stayed at home. This little piggy, he had the roast beef. This little piggy, he didn't have any. This little piggy, this guy, he went to wee all the way home. But the first little piggy said, why nobody come with me to the market? A lot of groceries gotta carry me. And he said, well, I don't go to the market because I'm a vegan and you shop for roast beef for the other asshole. And he said, well, I eat the roast beef because I pay rent, motherfucker. I go wee because I can't take the anger in the house anymore. What's the matter? Y'all don't want to play potato anymore? Fair enough. I got a question. If you start a fight with an armless Nazi, who's the bigger asshole? Because I don't think I'm breaking any ground here by saying that Nazis are just the worst. Right? They're the pits. Like, they're just dickheads wearing tan, right? But an armless Nazi, a little bit of an underdog story, right? He's wearing the costume and everything. They have an armband, and his is just blowing in the wind. Got kids always teasing him, hiling at him. He's like, ah, you jerks. Like, and there's like, but he's still a Nazi. Like, I gotta imagine like a Nazi in this day and age, still gonna be an asshole. He's like working racist shit into the conversation that doesn't mean anything. He doesn't like look around first or watch his volume. Like, you know, we'd have flying cars by now if it weren't for these gypsies. Like, come on, buddy, settle the fuck down. Like, so if you beat his ass, like if you settle some World War II scores, are you like a freedom fighter? Or just beating up on the handicap? That's my question to you. You guys can take that home. I've never been into talking about sex. It's never been something I've been comfortable about. And like that's like when like a girl asks you like, "What's your fantasy?" Like I treat that like poker. I'm gonna go ahead and check to the razor. Why don't you go first? I'm not gonna fuck up and say some shit. I'm not doing that. It's like, sometimes it's just fun to get realistic with it. Like if a girl's like, yo, what's your fantasy? I just go, health insurance? That is a fantasy of mine. One day I hope to hit that plateau. That's gonna be, oh my God, I cannot wait for health insurance. It's so sad, like I'm so excited about health insurance, I feel bad for the doctor that I come in contact to the first time. Because I'm just going to go and, like, cocky as hell. I'm just going to go and kick open the door and be like, I'm itchy and I got questions. Here's my copay. I hope you cleared your schedule. We are going to be here a while. The other thing about sex, like, I don't think that there should be any talking during sex. Because anytime there's any conversation during sex, there's always something very confusing that I have no answer for. Like, there's one time this girl was naked and on top of me and said, I thought I wasn't your type. To which I said, huh? Because look at me. Naked and on top of me is my type. You made the cut, sweet pea. You're riding the J train. The only phrase I think that should be said during sex is the phrase, I'm coming. Simply for time management's sake. Because that is like a tag in wrestling. It's like, okay, good, it's my turn now. Because you can't always trust noises. Sometimes the noises hit a pinnacle, they drop off, you're like, did you go? She's like, You're like, did you get distracted? See a deer? What happened? Fucking focus. You're on our way to success. More importantly, my nap. That's if some women think it's offensive to take a nap after sex. If you get a woman to come, you're allowed to have a nap. If she doesn't, you gotta rub her shoulders, talk about your feelings, make up for your shortcomings, basically what I'm saying. But if she comes, you should get a nap as a reward. And if she comes twice, Maybe you get a sandwich when you wake up. That's all I'm trying to say. But we're starting a revolution. Guys, thank you so much.
Jay Abbondanza, everybody.